The Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta is the setting for a closely watched trial. The case centers around Young Slime Life, or YSL, alleged to be a dangerous criminal enterprise. At the heart is Grammy-winning rapper Young Thug, facing charges including racketeering. What began in May 2022 has turned into a legal marathon. The scale of the case has led to delays, pushing the trial into 2024. The YSL indictment reads like a script from a crime drama. 28 individuals, including Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, stand accused of participating in a criminal conspiracy. Prosecutors allege that YSL, far from being a legitimate music label, is a front for a violent street gang terrorizing Atlanta for over a decade. The charges against Young Thug and his co-defendants are extensive, encompassing a range of offenses from racketeering and gang activity to murder, armed robbery, and drug trafficking. Prosecutors have built their case on a mountain of evidence, including social media posts, intercepted communications, and eyewitness testimony, all aimed at proving the existence of YSL as a criminal organization. Among the most serious allegations are those linking YSL to 2 murders in 2015 and 2018. Prosecutors contend that these killings were not isolated incidents but part of a broader pattern of violence orchestrated by Young Thug and his associates. The defense, however, maintains that the state's case is overblown, relying on flimsy evidence and the mischaracterization of rap lyrics as confessions to criminal activity. One significant reason for the delay in the trial is the removal of Judge Granville, which has added a layer of complexity to the already intricate legal proceedings. The road to justice in the YSL trial has been anything but smooth. The case, initially scheduled to begin in earnest in early 2023, has been plagued by a series of delays, testing the patience of all involved and raising concerns about the ability to seat an impartial jury after months, if not years, of pre-trial publicity. One of the most significant setbacks came when the key witness Lil Woody refused to testify despite his immunity grant. An ex parte meeting happened without the counsel for defense, where prosecutors Granville and Lil Woody met in order to explain to him the consequences of testifying or not. This ex partenaires led to multiple motions to recuse Granville, adding to the delays. A new judge was appointed weeks later. Adding to the delays are the logistical challenges of managing a case of this magnitude. With 28 defendants, each entitled to legal representation, coordinating schedules, and ensuring the timely production of evidence have proven to be ongoing hurdles. The YSL trial, with its many moving parts and unexpected twists, underscores the complexities of bringing a sprawling criminal case to trial. One of the most controversial aspects of the YSL trial centers on the prosecution's use of rap lyrics as evidence against Young Thug and other defendants. Prosecutors have introduced lyrics from Young Thug's songs, arguing that they provide a window into his mindset and serve as admissions of guilt. The defense has vehemently objected to this tactic, arguing that it violates Young Thug's First Amendment right to free speech. They contend that rap lyrics, like other forms of artistic expression, should not be interpreted literally, and that using them as evidence is highly prejudicial. This debate over the admissibility of rap lyrics in criminal trials is not new. Prosecutors have increasingly turned to this tactic in recent years, particularly in cases involving hip-hop artists. Critics argue that this practice is inherently biased, unfairly targeting black artists, and criminalizing a genre of music that often reflects the realities of marginalized communities. Section 5. RICO's long reach from organized crime to hip-hop. At the heart of the YSL prosecution is Georgia's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO. Originally enacted to combat organized crime, RICO allows prosecutors to target groups of individuals engaged in a pattern of criminal activity. In the YSL case, prosecutors allege that the defendants' actions, including drug trafficking, violence, and intimidation, constitute a pattern of racketeering activity, justifying the use of RICO. However, the application of RICO to street gangs, as opposed to traditional mafia-style organizations, has drawn criticism. Critics argue that RICO's broad definition of a criminal enterprise can ensnare individuals with only tangential connections to criminal activity. They contend that using RICO against loosely affiliated groups like YSL sets a dangerous precedent, potentially criminalizing association and expression rather than actual crimes. Section 6. Under the media microscope, scrutiny and spectacle, from the moment the YSL indictment dropped, the case has been a media sensation. The high-profile nature of the defendants, particularly Young Thug, a Grammy-winning artist with a global following, has made this trial impossible to ignore. News outlets have provided blow-by-blow coverage of every twist and turn, dissecting legal arguments, analyzing evidence, and speculating on the outcome. Social media has exploded with commentary, with fans expressing support for Young Thug and critics condemning the alleged actions of YSL. This intense media scrutiny raises concerns about the ability to conduct a fair trial. The constant barrage of information, much of it speculative or sensationalized, can influence potential jurors, making it difficult to find individuals who can be impartial. The YSL trial highlights the challenges of balancing the public's right to know with the defendant's right to a fair trial. Hip-hop on the stand: artistic freedom and the specter of censorship. The YSL trial has sent shockwaves through the music industry, particularly within the world of hip-hop. The prosecution's use of rap lyrics as evidence against Young Thug has sparked a debate about artistic freedom and the limits of self-expression. Critics argue that using an artist's lyrics against them sets a dangerous precedent, potentially chilling creativity and silencing voices from marginalized communities. They contend that rap, like other forms of art, should not be taken literally, and that focusing on violent imagery ignores the genre's rich history of social commentary and storytelling. Others, however, argue that artists should be held accountable for their words, particularly when those words incite violence or glorify criminal activity. They contend that artistic freedom does not provide a shield for criminal behavior, and that the line between art and reality can be blurry. Atlanta divided community reactions and calls for justice reform. The YSL trial has divided the Atlanta community, reflecting broader national conversations about race, crime, and the criminal justice system. Some see the prosecution of Young Thug and his co-defendants as a necessary step in combating gang violence and holding those responsible accountable. Others, however, view the case through the lens of mass incarceration and racial bias, arguing that the YSL prosecution is another example of the system unfairly targeting black men. They point to the history of over-policing in black communities and the disproportionate impact of gang injunctions and RICO prosecutions on people of color. The YSL trial has become a flashpoint, igniting calls for criminal justice reform and a re-evaluation of how we address gang violence. It has forced a conversation about the root causes of crime, the role of poverty and lack of opportunity, and the need for investment in marginalized communities. The uncertain future of Young Thug and YSL: what's next? The fate of Young Thug and his co-defendants remains uncertain. The prosecution relies on eyewitness testimony and intercepted communications. The defense challenges the credibility of witnesses and evidence. They argue Young Thug's success doesn't equate to criminal involvement. The jury's decision will have far-reaching consequences. A conviction could end careers and impact families. An acquittal would challenge the use of RICO and rap lyrics as evidence. The broader implications: RICO, race, and the future of gang prosecutions. The YSL trial is not simply a referendum on the guilt or innocence of those accused. It has shown a spotlight on broader issues surrounding RICO, race, and the prosecution of gangs in America. The case has reignited debates about the use of RICO, a powerful tool originally designed to dismantle organized crime syndicates against street gangs. Critics argue that RICO's broad reach, allowing for the prosecution of individuals for the actions of others, can lead to the sweeping up of individuals with only tenuous ties to criminal activity. Moreover, the YSL trial, with its focus on a group of young black men, has raised uncomfortable questions about race and the criminal justice system. It has fueled concerns that black and brown communities are disproportionately targeted by gang prosecutions, often based on flimsy evidence and racial stereotypes. Awaiting a verdict: justice delayed, justice denied. As the YSL trial enters its second year, the wait for a verdict continues. The delays, though frustrating for all involved, are a reminder that justice is rarely swift. The complexities of the case, the sheer volume of evidence, and the constitutional rights of the accused necessitate a thorough and deliberate process. Yet, as the trial drags on, the question lingers: at what point does justice delayed become justice denied? The prolonged proceedings take a toll on all involved, particularly the families of the victims seeking closure and the defendants, their lives on hold as they await their fate. The YSL trial is a stark reminder that justice is a process, often messy and imperfect. It is a test of our legal system's ability to balance the rights of the accused with the needs of the victims and the pursuit of truth. And as we await the jury's verdict, one thing is certain: the impact of this trial, with its far-reaching implications for RICO, race, and the criminal justice system, will be felt long after the verdict is read.